Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for dropping by today's podcast. Hope the weekend has been good for all of you. Give it just a moment. Should be getting some more folks popping in here. Hey, what's up, Ivano? Gentle? What's up, Josh? Turbo? And should be a pretty good podcast today. Lots and lots to talk about. So as most of you probably saw from the thumbnail, the topics today are going to be the update, 5.8 update that I think everybody should have it by now. Not sure about the PC guys if they've got it yet or not, but and of course we've got the merger and a brand new event, so lots and lots of stuff on the plate. And I do have my partner in crime here with me, Islander, so I will pull him here into the channel. What's up, K Rather? JS14971, what's up, Art? What's up, Mahal? Alright, so I told you all the topics. Let me go ahead and get Islander in here, and as I'm bringing him in, for those of you that are not yet subscribed to his channel, make sure you guys do drop by and subscribe. He's been around for a long time in the War Robots community, so definitely stop by, throw a subscription his way, and let me bring him in. Hey, what's up, Eddie?
Hey, what's going on, Chief? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right.
Good.
So we've got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff to talk about.
Oh boy, we got tons.
So kind of focused mainly topics-wise on the 5.8 update, which is pretty broad, but you know, that also has the new event and the merge. Of course, we haven't actually merged yet, but hoping that will kick in tomorrow or Tuesday.
Yeah, I think we're just waiting for iOS to get the update. Are we?
No, we have the update.
You already have it. Okay.
Yep, we've got it. The dev stream, they mentioned that they were going to turn that feature on probably Monday or Tuesday. So.
Okay.
Hopefully it's Monday.
Hopefully so. We can get ready to get these things going on.
Right. And let me see if I can pull up the update notes for the viewers here. Hopefully this works. There we go. All right. Just so they could kind of follow along with the update notes, I figured we would just kind of cover the stuff in the update notes and then move over to the discussion of the merge, which is still kind of out there since we haven't actually merged yet, but and then the new event is also mixed in here, so definitely some good changes that came with this. But I guess the first thing up in the update notes is the Icarus Cyber Show. This is a brand new event. We've never had it in War Robots. Typically, over the last several years, this has been like the slow time for events between the Lunar New Year and then the anniversary event. It's usually a 2-month gap there before we get another event, but this time they decided to throw us another event. I'm not exactly sure why, but I will take it. What are your thoughts so far on the event?
This is generally the time, like at 4.8, about a year ago, we had, this is kind of an update where we had kind of rebalancing. All right. And that's what they've generally done in the past. So yeah, this is the first time that we've had this event. I opened up a few chests and I got some pretty decent little prizes out of it. People, of course, I have them message me or hit me up in the comment section as to what they've been getting. Everybody seems to be scoring pretty good. I mean, there's been a couple of guys that had bad luck just getting power cells, but we've had quite a few people already land the atomizers, and this time around we are getting the modules in there. Okay, so those modules are going to be a nice little addition. I've already picked up 2 of the modules out of my early openings, so happy about that. But all in all, I like the way it started off pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, paint jobs is kind of, yeah, whatever, you know. It's kind of nice to have that little extra durability, I guess. But the new new paint job for the Phantom, man, that thing looks so good. It's just a shame that they bring this really cool kick-ass paint job out at the same time that they're giving away a cool-ass looking Phantom in the operations.
Right.
So I don't know, is the right hand not talking to the left or what? But anyway, I mean, it's cool to have either way. And I'm super excited that they finally added the modules in there, because I know every time I gave them feedback over the events, I'm always put the modules in there. There's no reason modules shouldn't be in there. Finally listened. So props to them on that. The one thing that I'm kind of disappointed with the prizes for this event is all the damn components.
That's one thing I had a problem with as well. I didn't like all those little itty bitty packs of components to be in there. I mean, I think we've come or gone full circle on this whole components thing. I don't think components should be anywhere in the game other than if you're going to build something in a workshop. Okay, you build your way up through the components. But as far as bringing components to our special events, I don't think they need to be there. Really, really don't.
Right, and I agree. I mean, of course, there are some people that end up getting the weapon, or more recently, it's been just robot components that we've had in the events. And, you know, it is one avenue to complete the robot, but man, it just sucks because it just takes up all those extra slots of possibilities for when you're rolling your tokens, you know?
Right.
You know, I mean, if they are like dead set and keeping components in there, you know, just keep the 2,500 component level in there and get rid of the, you know, 1,000, the 500. I mean, those don't need to be in there. Especially, you know, with this one, they added in, or they decided to keep the cryo weapons as prizes, which is great because there's still a lot of people looking for them. But then they added components in there for all of them too, which is just, I don't know,
a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, because that just, you know, I don't know, too much of a chance, I think, of landing on components now and not actually completing anything.
Right. I mean, and you're going to get components that you cannot go into the workshop and finish off. You know, if you end up with 7,500 components for something, you're stuck with those 7,500 components until they eventually make their way into the workshop. So, I mean, if you're going to have components there, you got to be able to give players a chance to finish off that particular weapon or bot that they're targeting.
Right. And I mean, I understand the cryos are still relatively new, but we are past that 2-month window of them being live before they had, you know, promised us in the past that, you know, the new items would end up in the workshop after 2 months. And they said that they're going to put them in the workshop after this event finishes. So to me, I think, you know, if you're going to put components for these weapons in the prize pool, then at least turn it on in the workshop so that we can actually finish it, because nobody that's using the workshop is going to spend that much silver to just instantly complete these things. So, but you know, it gives us a chance to kind of get ahead of it. I don't know.
Right.
Just my thought.
Well, I completely agree. I'm very much against it. I said it in my last video when I was opening them. You know, the first thing I saw was those components. And damn, components. I mean, this is an event. You're kind of hoping to win good prizes. You know, we already have power cells and low amounts of gold in there to compensate. And during like the last event, I think was kind of overloaded with people getting power cells. So maybe they kind of threw this in there to throw that off. But I mean, I'd rather have power cells than components, to be completely honest with you.
Right. I mean, a lot of people complain about the power cells, but I mean, to be honest, I kind of rely on those power cells in the events, because otherwise I'd have to be dropping money to buy gold to buy them outright, and that's just ridiculous. I go through a lot of power cells, but you know, I don't know. Like, I don't mind the power cells or the gold, because both of those get used a lot in the game. It's just the components, you know, just they need to get rid of them. But, you know, they did make, like I said earlier, a great move by adding the premium modules into the prize pool. Now we just need to convince them. We just need to convince them to put those in the gold chest. That's really where the premium modules belong in the game, is in the gold chest.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see them in the gold chest as well. or hell, even the super chest. I would rather have, another last stand versus an Ares. You know, you can put them in the super chest as well, or I mean, majority of those bosses that are in the super chest. I mean, some of them are still meta, but some of them have past their prime. There's not a primary bot anymore. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the trend that they were setting with the super chest as far as putting in like the limited edition robots from previous events and whatnot. I think that's great. Or a new robot or new weapon or something like that. And I don't mind like the weapons being in the gold chest, but they need to kind of make it a little juicier. I mean, it takes a bit to get 1,000 keys saved up. That's a lot of grinding, even if you're using key boosters. Yeah. So I think that I don't know. I'll keep pushing them as much as I can anyway.
If you have a 5,000 gold crate in there, well, you could easily put a module that's the same or equal value or even less value in there as well.
Right. And right now with the gold chest, I mean, some of the weapons that are in there can be purchased with gold, and they cost more gold to buy than the modules. So,
right,
Pixonic, if you're listening, put the modules in the gold chest already.
We'll take that.
And give us platinum.
Hell yeah, lots of that. Please put that somewhere in the game, whether it can be earned, whether it's going to be in, the crates or in the black market or so. I mean, at the end of the game, there's got to be some other avenue to acquire platinum than what we have right now, other than daily tasks. And of course, a Visa or a MasterCard. They got to give us some other option, and I'm hoping they come out with that pretty soon. I understand it's the new big ticket in the game, and they're trying to milk it for as much as they can. They are running a business, and I completely understand all that. But you got to give the other players a chance to acquire it as well. Through playing and watching videos and all this stuff. That contributes to their bottom line.
Well, I think right now they just want to ride that platinum train as long as they possibly can, to be honest, just because they are a business. And I think the ones that, I think you've got the developers that are probably, more aligned to the player base, but then you've got the actual business side, and they're saying, nah, we're making a lot of money on this, so you need to just hold on, don't start giving it away. And they did address it in the dev stream, and that the guy that was with Tofsla on the dev stream is, they call him the producer or whatever. He's the guy overall in charge. He's the one making final decisions for everything with the game, and he flat out said there is no plan right now to add platinum anywhere else in the game. So
yeah, but you're talking about Max, right?
Yeah, Max. I don't remember his name.
I think that's his name.
Turbo Knight was asking if it's worth dropping a few dollars for this event.
If you're gonna drop a few dollars, and y'all have heard me say this 100 times, wait till the end when you're gonna get your 50% off. Okay, if there is something in this event that you're targeting, and you want the opportunity to try and win it, by all means go for it. But if you're gonna drop anything more than a $10 bill, wait till the end of the event where you get your 3,600 7,200 keys instead of 3,600 keys, or coins or tokens or whatever you want to call them. All right, maximize your dollar, get the most bang for your buck.
Right. And I agree with that. Obviously don't spend money you can't afford to spend, first off. But if you've got a few extra bucks and you're interested in some of the stuff that's in the prize pool, then by all means, spend your money however you want. But like Islander said, wait until they go on sale. Usually you'll start seeing after about a week or so, like a 20% off and then a 30% off. Sometimes about halfway through, they'll have a weekend where it's 50% off. But usually it's that last few days of the event that they start clearing it out for 50% off, and that's really the best time to buy. But also keep in mind, it's gambling. You're not guaranteed to get what you want, so
Yeah, I mean, there was one guy who dropped $100, didn't win the atomizer, won everything else, and then we have, guys like I forgot his name. I just went blank. Anthony. Anthony opened up his first free chest and got the atomizer. So I'm not gonna say it's completely random. I don't think it's random at all. I think there's some kind of numbers to it, but you're not guaranteed to get what you want just because you drop the bones. Okay.
Right.
And somebody else might get it with their free spin, and yeah, you're gonna be hating life like me.
And
there's Anthony. What's going on, Anthony?
Usually for events, I usually drop $100 to do a chest opening at the beginning of the event, just to show people I guess what you might get out of $100. I don't make that money back. My videos don't. I mean, even my best video for a chest opening has not earned anywhere near $100. So,
no, you're not gonna get that back.
I'm straight losing the money. But in the past, I have had really good luck with some events, and other events like this last one, man, I got nothing. I mean, it sucked. It was bad. So, it's hit or miss.
I had bad luck all the way through until the very end when I got the back-to-back lead pilots. I mean, that it was all bad luck, pretty much.
I had somebody in my Discord server earlier today. I don't remember their name, but they posted, and they're a free-to-play player, and their first 2 openings on this event, they won full Ravanas both times.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Ah, man.
So
I swear to God, so people just have that touch, man. Just that. Yeah. All right.
I mean,
depression set in.
I mean, it is absolutely not 100% random what you're going to get. I mean, each one is given a different percentage of likelihood that it's going to come up, and they're only going to give away a certain number of the more sought after things. So, but that does get mixed around to everybody that's rolling, since they don't know who's rolling when and how many. So, there still is a huge luck factor as far as when you hit that button. But yeah, hopefully he can level up to Ravanas and he wants them. But yeah, it's all luck. But getting back to this event, I think it's a good event. It kind of fills this gap that we would have had really nothing going on other than the update, and it gives people something to kind of focus on while we're waiting to actually merge together. Anyway, going back to the update real quick, you mentioned somebody, was it Anthony, you said won an atomizer, which is awesome. Those are going to be very sought after, and I know I've had some viewers tell me, oh, they're not going to become meta. You're wrong. They will be
very
meta.
Much.
And let me tell you why they're going to be meta. Because with the nerf of the shotguns, brawlers, which is by and large the majority of players in this game, they're brawlers, have no sustained firing weapon for a medium, small, or heavy slot any longer. Because that was the role that the shotguns filled. The atomizer is the definition of sustained fire. I mean, yeah, it gets overheated and doesn't hit its target far away, but you can just mash the button and keep on going. So that is why everybody is going to be jumping on the atomizers, and the test server had the light version and the heavy version. So we should be expecting to see those most likely next update, which will be April. So they are definitely going to be meta.
If you get that weapon at point blank, like you would fight a shotgun and you're firing off those rounds, the fact that it overheats makes very little difference. You're at point blank range, you're gonna hit your target. You're gonna get your shots in. And I've gone up against them already. Some of the guys out there that already have them maxed out, they are extremely effective. Trust me, guys, they will be meta very quickly.
Yep. And I have seen those screenshots of people within an hour of the event with maxed out MK2 atomizers on leeches. So those folks are out there. They've got the money, and they're doing it.
More power to them. Let them do it.
Hey, somebody's got to finance the game.
Yeah, let them finance it. I mean, like I said, I'll drop a few dollars here and there, but I'm not going to dip it into the kids' college fund to play this game. I'll gladly support a game that entertains me the way War of Robots has. But no way am I going to break the bank or even give some of my beer money for that. It's just whatever I have left over. I'll be more than happy to throw a few bones that way to try and get some prizes. But that's about the extent of it. I'm trying to be really, really smart with my purchase.
Right. And the thing is, with this event, I mean, you get no real benefit by dumping a bunch of money at the beginning. This kind of goes back to the question that somebody had about, whether it's worth dropping a few bucks. You get no benefit from being the first one to get an atomizer and maxing it out. I mean, sure, you get to look cool, but a month from now, a lot of people are going to have them. And that coolness is not going to be all that cool anymore. So it just costs you a lot of money to look cool for a little while. So
yeah, you have the slight advantage for about a month, but then people catch up pretty quick. I mean, look at the shotgun weapons as an example. Yeah, some people got them right away and they maxed them right away and they had the early advantage. But once people caught up, those people still had their money in their pocket and somebody else was broke.
Yeah, I mean, this game is not a fast-paced game in the manner that you need to be first so that you can win. This game is about just kind of chill, sit back, grind, build your stuff up. It takes time, so don't sweat it. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Joel asked if the atomizer has shot grouping. I don't know. I can't answer that.
We haven't seen any of the skills for that yet. Right now, we are now testing the heavy and the light version of that. I'll have a video coming out later on. A couple of things are changing in the game as far as like the Terrans. I don't know if that's going to stay, but that is almost a machine gun style Terran. It looks really, really cool. We'll have to wait and see what the numbers are going to be on that. I don't know what's going on there, but be patient, guys. Be patient with all this stuff. You don't have to be the first one to get it. Get it when you get it. Have your silver ready to go once you get it, so you can start working your upgrades. You do not need to spend gold on your upgrades, guys. The video ads do very, very well as far as leveling up. Okay, so you don't have to rush anything, and you really don't have to spend. If you grind this game right and you use your video ads, you can get yourself into MK2 pretty quick.
Right. And with the change to MK2, it makes life so much easier.
Yes, it does.
Hey, what's up, AD? But yeah, going back to
what's going on, my man?
Going back to your question, whether or not they have shot grouping, I don't know. I do believe that my BR account had some atomizers delivered earlier today. I just haven't logged into it. Sunday is kind of like my down day for not really playing. I just do the show and then kind of chill out with the family. But I will be checking into that and let y'all know. Oh, AD Gaming says it does not.
AD just answered that for us. It does not have a shot grouping.
Just increased damage, so just like every other weapon. But honestly, I kind of like how they did that with the atomizer, where it's pretty strong, but you can't just mash the button and still do a bunch of damage at 2, 3, 4, 500 meters. So I do like that. It kind of introduces a new skill to the game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can be accurate at 400 or 500 meters, okay, but you cannot hold that sustained fire. So you're gonna have to be tactical about your shooting, and you can't be reckless with it. You can't just walk around with holding the button and think you're gonna destroy everything you run into. So I do like it. I do like the fact that you have to allow that weapon to cool down.
But in a pinch, you can just mash on it, and you might get lucky and hit something.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're gonna land a few shots here and there. So, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. We'll learn to play it as we go, just like every other weapon. And once we figure out the tricks and tactics to it, of course, the YouTubers will pass them on to you guys.
And okay, so the merger, we're still kind of waiting. They did address this, at least with the dev stream, so I'm very glad that they actually got on and communicated to us and said, hey, yep, here's the update, but we're not going to turn on the merger just yet, which is good, because usually they don't communicate that to us, and we just kind of know that some things take a while, but then, you know, by this time we would have been like, what the hell? So I'm glad that they did increase the communication on that, but it is kind of a little bit of a bummer that, you know, everybody's been waiting and waiting and waiting, and then they dropped the update and then nothing.
Nothing.
So, you know,
absolutely nothing.
No silver changes, you know, economy changes that we were promised, and no merger. But at least they did address those right off on the dev stream, which is good. So for everybody that's wondering, and I know it was a little confusing at first when iOS got the update the other day, there were people wondering if they were actually merged yet. No, we're not merged yet. Hopefully tomorrow or Tuesday. And then as far as the changes to silver, those are not going to happen until maybe sometime this week or next week. So we just got to wait.
Yeah, and we'll be testing that silver payout quick. I mean, we know it's going to come down to honor points, and they're going to do the breakdown of honor points for us in the category wise. But it just seems to vary from game to game. I am happy with the fact that we are no longer going to have to pay repair costs, which I thought was ridiculous from the very beginning of this game, that we're paying repair costs on an animated robot that didn't require a mechanic to truly fix it. So I'm glad to see that aspect of the game go.
Right. And that alone should net everybody between 50 and 500,000 silver every match.
Yeah, exactly. You should get a nice chunk of silver just from the repair costs.
And there was one thing, and this was not something that I mentioned in my video when I talked about the dev stream and the update notes, but there was one sentence in here that I wanted to point out to people, because this has been asked by the community in the past, and it's this bottom sentence here under the iOS and Android play together. It says, it is not possible yet to transfer progress between iOS and Android, and social interactions like clans and squads is still limited to your platform, but we plan to implement these functions as well in the future. Now, the first part of that, not yet possible to transfer between iOS and Android. So many people have been asking me, hey, is there a way, if I, was on an Android and I had an Android account and then my phone broke and I got an iPhone, can I use my account? There's your answer. Up until now, it has not been possible, but they are working on it, and that is the first time they have ever publicly stated that they are working on allowing players to transfer their progress between devices.
And that is a good thing, guys. I mean, a lot of people have been wanting that for a long time. Some people move from Android to iOS, and there's no reason you really shouldn't be able to take your account with you. So hopefully they get that worked out, and then you'll be able to jump back and forth. If you get a new device or a new tablet, you'll be able to move over to that. Let's see, here's the question. Chief, did Stan abandon Tosla? I don't know where the hell Stan is. Stan's MIA, bro. He hasn't been around for the last couple of dev streams. I don't know if he's out on a vacation or maybe he's just doing some other work. But yeah, he's disappeared. I'll tell you what. Ever since he left Stan hanging on that one dev stream where Stan had to break the shotgun use, teammates did not want him back.
I think what happened is they went to Stan and said, Stan, you need to do the dev stream and explain to everybody that we're going to do this shotgun nerf. It's very unpopular. People are going to hate you, but you've got to do it. And he said, here's my resignation.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't. That probably didn't happen, but he's been gone since then, so maybe it did. Who knows? Or maybe just
Yeah.
Pixonic ran out of nuts. All right, so the old economy
And
was formally disabled. There was still a little bit of confusion on that from some folks wondering how that was going to work with stuff that was already in their inventory. Um, not really sure why there was confusion on that, but you know, basically,
there is quite a bit of confusion on that, and I haven't really even checked it out or tested it to know for sure. But let's just argument's sake, are the Molots and the new Quakers going to cost the exact same to upgrade?
no, they won't.
They shouldn't.
No, because you have to remember that all gear, robots and weapons, are in 4 different tiers. If you remember a couple dev streams back, they like had this graph and this, it was like a, I don't know, some kind of a pages thing or whatever the hell it's called, that showed the different levels of gear, and there's 4 levels of gear. So you can just call it level 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't remember what they called them, but obviously the lower level stuff is cheaper and faster to upgrade, and then you've got the more premium stuff, which is all the way at the top, which takes longer and costs more. And every new weapon, rest assured, every single new weapon and robot that comes out from here until forever will be considered premium.
Oh yeah.
So yes, unfortunately, that question though does kind of point out one of the faults in that system, because there is no reason a Quarker, which is a stupid name for it, but whatever, Quarker, it should not cost the same as the Nucleon, which is the heavy version of the same weapon. Those should not cost the same amount of silver and gold and time to upgrade. Chart.
It doesn't make any sense because it doesn't do the same amount of damage. So
right. But the system has pretty much been like that ever since probably for the last year. I mean, you go all the way back to and look at upgrading like a Blaze. A Blaze costs just as much as an Ember to level up, which is stupid. But that's just the system they went with. New silver payout system. We kind of talked about that already. It is going into effect, according to the dev stream, hopefully the end of this week coming up, or the following week. I'm not sure what the holdup is on that, but they're waiting for whatever reason. Balance changes. Now the juicy stuff. Shotgun nerf. We've beat it like a dead horse. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, and there have been some YouTubers that are going out of their way to try and point out that maybe the storms aren't that bad, but regardless, when you compare it to what we had, they are trash. That's it. End of story. My opinion, they're trash. So,
compared to what they were, they are generally, yes, very bad. The storms went from 8 shots to 5 shots. Yeah, they give you a little bit more juice on the early onslaught. I tested it out. Right now, I am running it in my hangar for free for all. I will not run it in team deathmatch. I will not run it in any of the other segments. If you run into a thick-skinned bot, you're going to lose that matchup. All right, it's better for going up against lighter bots or medium bots. And the only reason free for all, because in between each little battle, you get a little certain amount of time before you get your next encounter to get a reload. But in any other mode, yeah, it's a bad selection. And free for all, they're playable, but there are better options out there.
I mean, I'll admit it though. I mean, I was at least happy that like my Phantom is still fairly effective running maxed out Gust and Storm. But really, just about any other robot doesn't have that mechanic really that the Phantom has to be able to just blip out of there when he runs out of ammo, you know. So, you know, I right now cannot recommend anybody running shotguns like as a primary at this point. It's just they're bad. Some people were trying to do math on like the Thunder, like saying, "Oh, look, the Thunder got a buff, and you know, if you max it out to MK2 and you know you have thermo nukes and you have you know a damage booster and all this other stuff, then you can get it all the way up to like, you know, 30,000 damage per shot." Yeah, but it's still a Thunder, and you're not going to hit all of those pellets on your target.
No, you're not.
So,
You know, and the reason, Chief, I'm playing it in free for all, and I'm keeping it on the leash and trying to develop, you know, where it's going to be viable, where it's not, because there's a lot of players out there, you know, that kind of threw all their eggs in one basket, and all they have is Coronas, and all they have is Storms, or that's what they were running. And now, yeah, there are other options out there for them, but those options are not maxed out. So what can they do? Where can they play it? How can they benefit from what they have until they acquire new gear and start upgrading it? The only place that it's, like I said, the only place that is somewhat usable would be free for all.
right.
And if you don't have another option, you got what you got.
Kid Holler was asking, what about the Ravana? I said Adrian did a video of Storm Ravana build, and it worked well. Here's the thing with that. Don't compare or take that with a grain of salt, because Adrian is one of the most skilled players in the game. There's things that he can do that many people cannot. Like, he could probably wipe out my whole hangar with, you know, one robot. Just because he's Adrian and he's really that good. But he also is using mostly maxed out stuff. The average player, whether they have a Ravana or anything else, is not running fully maxed out MK2 gear. I mean, there's a lot out there, but the average player is not. So just because you see somebody do something on YouTube and get it to work doesn't mean you're going to get that same result. So just be real careful with that. Another thing to keep in mind too with YouTubers, and I do the same thing, I think the only one that probably doesn't do it that much is Islander, where, you know, if I'm going out and I'm trying to get footage for a specific build, you know, I usually have to play more than one game just because I'm trying to target certain footage. So I'm obviously, you know, if I have a bad game and, you know, that footage didn't develop how I wanted, I'm most likely not going to put it in my video. I'm going to show you the footage that really brings that, you know, that build to life. So I'm going to show you the best stuff. And sometimes that can take multiple games to get it. So I think Islander's the only one that I know, YouTube-wise, that he just jumps into a game and plays, and the result is what you get. So I think that...
Yeah.
So,
I'll give you the experience that I had, and we're talking one pilot out there, guys, and it wasn't Adrian, but it is another very skilled pilot, and I do match up with him often on free for all. He was running the Ravana Storms, okay, and that little ability that it has does give you a little bit of time to get reload. The player's name is Phoenix. I believe he's in Clan FX or UX or something with an X. And we matched him twice on back-to-back games. I beat him the first game, and he came back and beat me with the second game. And I mean, he was just outlasting the ability of my leeches, and he was outlasting the ability of the bird, and his ability kept recycling pretty quick. So I'm not sure what pilot skills or what he was running on it, but he was very effective with the Storms and the Ravana. But that's we're talking again. We're talking one pilot that is. I mean, he's up there. He's a solid player, and he is running it. And the only one other that I know that's running it and looking for a second one is a guy by the name of Boomer. He's running the Ravana. I'm not sure if he's using the Storms or something else, but they are flipping out their weapons. It's not just going to be the Storm that they're running. You know, these guys have other setups. That's just the one that I came across. And as far as what she was saying, yes, I'll jump into a game and I play what I play, and you know the end result was what it is. If it was bad and it sucked, well, that's what it was. You know, if I had a good game with it, then you get to see it. But it is what it is.
Well, and AD said that he's used the Ravana with the Storm and it works very well. And that might be the case. I'm just pointing out that the average person is not running maxed out stuff. Fully maxed out modules, everything maxed out. So be careful what you see on YouTube, because you probably won't get the same results. And I'll tell you that the Ravana, if it's not maxed out, it's not a real strong robot to begin with. It's fun, but it's not OP. And then you add on something like Storm, which took a significant nerf. Yes, you could make it work. No doubt you could make it work, but there's better options right now in the game. So just because you can make something work doesn't mean that's the best option. Anyway, I think we've beat the whole shotgun nerf down. Let's
I think we put that one down into a hole already.
Yeah. Shotgun's bad. Other weapons good. Actually, I think the shotgun nerf was actually a blessing in disguise. Sure, it sucked because I lost half of my hangar's weapons, but survivability.
You're seeing a lot of different stuff on the field now, aren't
you? And there's a big variety now on the field, and I'm really glad that I got my shotguns out of my hangar before they got nerfed, because there's other people that are now kind of playing catch up on that, and I'm taking advantage of it. And with what I have in my personal hangar right now, even though it's not as leveled up as my shotguns were, I mean, I'm still pulling plenty of damage and getting plenty of wins. So should you sell your MK2 Magnums? You should never sell anything that you've actually leveled up, ever.
I agree with that. Don't. Okay, to your answer your question, no, do not sell them. You don't know what weapon is going to get a buff or a nerf at any given time. They can revive them whenever they want to for whatever reasons. If you took the time to max it, you're not going to get the value that you put into it. So just keep it. That's my 2 cents.
And not much to go over here on the usability and bug fixes. Yeah. Oh, there were some, they called them minor improvements to the UI, and I wasn't exactly sure what all those were when like I did my video talking about this, update notes and stuff. But like they moved the mail icon back down there to the right side. They smoothed out most of the icons. They changed the tabbing on the what's it called, like where you get your tasks, like your daily tasks and clan tasks. Instead of a tab on the left hand side, it goes across the top. So those were the minor improvements to the UI that they made, which I think most of them are pretty good. I thought initially that they were kind of referring to the camera change, but from what I understand, the change to the camera was unintentional.
Yeah, I heard that.
And I'm kind of glad that it was unintentional, because it sucks. I mean, some robots it doesn't make a big difference on, but if you put a robot that like flies or jumps into your, hangar and you go and use it in a match, it screws up your viewing angle for all of your robots, and it makes it like on an Aljun or a Nightingale where you're trying to judge where you're going to land, it makes it almost impossible to even know where you're actually going to land. So I mean, they did not tell us it was unintentional, but they did ask us to provide them with videos showing the problem, so that tells me that it is a problem.
Yeah, they were not very aware that it had occurred. It wasn't planned out. In other words.
Right. Okay, so we talked about the new event. We talked about the merge. Not a lot to talk about there because we're still waiting. But yeah, I think I don't know. I've seen some trash talk going on Facebook between between some of the Android and iOS folks. So it's gonna.
That's what I'm talking about. Get it going, fellas. Keep it clean, but get it going. Let's get this ball rolling.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun when the merger actually hits and we all get to start punching each other in the face. Now, as far as being able to, squad or join clans and things like that, we're still a long way off from that. They were talking probably by the fall or winter to be able to make that happen. So we still got quite a bit of time before we're going to be really merged. But I'm so looking forward to getting more people into the queue. And I might actually start playing some free-for-all again.
You just want to hump me, don't you, Chief?
No, I mean, free-for-all was good silver. That was always my go-to. If I was like really down hard on some silver, I could just jump into a few free-for-all matches. I would earn, way more silver in free-for-all. Even if, I came in second or third, you'd still get a ton of silver. But
free-for-all is definitely a good location for silver. The best in the game right now is still team deathmatch. You still have to roll solo, okay? Because you're gonna get a nice purse of silver, but to get that big chunk, you really got to depend on that video ad. That's where free-for-all and running solo comes hand in hand. Is you have the option to get that video ad. If you get that video ad, it gives you that extra chunk, and it's a nice. But you have to get the win. That's the key, and you're not guaranteed to win in team deathmatch. In free-for-all, as long as you're one of the top three, you could potentially get that video ad and still score good.
Right. CDXX is challenging hardcore.
Bring it on, bad boy. We'll be there. I'll bring my level 3 kid into that game. You won't stand a chance. Good luck.
BBX asked, does anyone else notice that the Tehran plays like a shotgun now? I'm not sure what you're saying there.
Yes. If you go to the test server this weekend, Chief, actually my video will be going up a little bit later on tonight, and you can probably take a look at it there. But the Tehran has a Halo style fire to it. There's no delay in between the shots. It's just rapid shot, one after the other. It really looks pretty cool. I love it. I'm not sure if that's the way it's gonna stay or if that was some kind of bug. But the way it looks in the test server, it's awesome. I love it.
Huh. Might actually have to start trying to use them if that comes in. I know it's kind of a reversal from the last time they nerfed the Tehrans. So it'd be cool.
Wizard HC is kind of dead. Yep, you're right, Wizard. Although we've been breathing new life into it and trying to get new players there, we did take a loss of about more than 50% of the clan. So HC is actually now in the rebuilding phase of clanning.
Happens to a lot of clans.
Yep, sure does.
Quite a few over on iOS that are pretty similar. It's 1, 2, 3 metas back. They were the ones that you always, kicked yourself when you dropped in against one of their squads because you knew you were going to get rolled, and now you never even see them squatting anymore. But there are a few that are starting to make some comebacks. Run into like EXO more recently, but I think even 1% is doing a little more squatting these days. They're kind of out of it for a bit.
It happened. So we're still going to be out there. We're still going to be playing. But if CDX was a piece of Islander, you just jump right on the free-for-all server, brother, and we'll spread the chips out as we need to right there.
Philosophy Trucking says, what weapons are we investing in now? Well, right now the hot weapons are cryos and atomizer.
And the storms. Okay, I should have said that. Cryos and atomizers, partner, should be the new and upcoming guns. I mean, those are the latest two, and the atomizers will have the heavy and light version, so you can look for those to come out. But cryos are definitely a solid weapon.
Yeah, I think
80 Gaming. I am here doing the good. Oh yeah, okay. Those of y'all didn't know, 80 Gaming is with HC now, and he's a big piece of the rebuilding process. And yeah, we'll be back. But exactly, we really appreciate you being there, brother.
Well, and honestly, one thing that I foresee once the merger takes hold, once we familiarize ourselves with a lot of the other clans, on the other platform, we're going to see who's strong, who's good players. And once they do finalize the merge and allow us to, interact more by, squatting and joining the other clans, you're going to see a lot of clans fold and get sucked into some of the bigger clans. It's just going to happen. I don't see anywhere in our future where that does not happen. It's too much opportunity for most players. As far as the cryo weapons, a lot of people are still pushing them. A lot of people are starting to put them in their hangars, and as soon as they go to the to where you can build them, you're going to see a lot more of them hitting the hangars. But in about 4 months, you're going to see them get nerfed. It's just the life cycle. It's going to happen.
Yes, it'll be because the players want it, just like the shotgun. And all honesty, I mean, we don't. And think about it, guys. We have these new atomizer weapons, and now we have the heavy version. So that just kind of leans towards. And I'm not saying do not go back and say, well, Islander, you said this. Okay, this is just kind of a prediction with a new heavy nucleon or whatever that weapon is going to be called. You can kind of predict that something's going to happen to the Avenger. I'm just guessing.
Well, I don't know that. I mean, they could always change the Avenger, but I think what's more likely to happen is that they're going to be releasing, this full suite of these weapons. The light and the heavy version will join the atomizer, and they are going to want to spend a month or two with making those only available to the spenders or the lucky people that win them, and then after that they really want to see them start filtering into people's hangars. So the only way that they're going to do that after the shotgun nerf and forcing people to adapt into the cryo weapons is to nerf the cryo weapons, because why would you want to take one of these new machine guns, even though they have unlimited ammo? They're not as good at range as, the cryos. The cryos go out to 300 meters, but guaranteed you're going to hit what you're shooting it at. It doesn't get weak. You don't really miss that much. And the cryos have that additional effect to it, where you freeze, you slow them down, and you put that death mark. These new energy machine guns, all they do is damage. So, but yeah, so most likely you're going to see people getting pissed off in the future about them getting nerfed. The more they continually nerf, the more players we're going to lose. That might be true, Ibano, but they also have to, I mean, any game is going to have nerf and buff cycles, rebalancing. There's no way around it. People are always going to get upset about it. I think I saw somebody commenting earlier, like at the beginning of the stream, talking about the changes to the shotgun weapons, and while in the past they have targeted specific robots or specific weapons, they have never gone after an entire group of weapons like they have this time. But I think they're kind of testing the waters to see how we're going to react to such a broad nerf. Some people are quitting, but I don't think that many are, to be honest.
No, there's always a higher influx of players coming in than there are leaving. And you can go to Think Gaming to see that, and you could, they have the numbers out there pretty much on a daily basis as to what's going on with each game in the market. Tater Chip, with the event, 36 different prizes. Most of us maybe want 2 or 3. Yeah, that's generally right, Tater. But I mean, a lot of those are those damn components that we kind of frown on. But I mean, some people do need the lead pilots. Some other people do want last stand modules or anti-control modules or modules that they don't have in their game yet. Because not everybody is up to par, even with the modules that have been out for so long. I mean, how many times do you drop into a match and see players out there still not running any last stand on their bot? So to win one in an event, I think is good. We all have different needs in the game. You know, and if you're new to the game, then pretty much anything you get in the event is going to be solid.
Yeah, I mean, there is no bad prize in this event. There's just some that are not as good as others. You know, like a paint job is not really as beneficial as a last stand. You know, but you know, getting components, it kind of sucks. But at the same time, if you don't need them, you can sell them and get silver. So. BBX says some players are just taking a break. They might be back. Yeah, and a lot of players do that. They absolutely, they'll take a month off, sometimes 2 months, and then they'll come back. The thing with War Robots is the way the gameplay is it's actually fun to play most of the time. It is fun. It gets frustrating, but it's still a fun game. And the people, I mean the community, it really keeps most of the players here, more so than the game, I think. Yeah, that's something maybe Anthony can answer. I know that War Robots is on Steam, but like I was checking out some Steam titles the other day, and I was thinking to myself, why in the hell would somebody download and play War Robots if they're accessing Steam, when you can just play like all these other full title games? I don't know. I didn't understand that, but maybe you can answer that for me, Anthony. Why would somebody play on Steam? Not knocking you, not knocking any Steam players. I don't understand. If you can play, you know,
of all the options out there,
right?
Why would you select War Robots? I guess is what Chief's trying to say.
Well, for those of you not familiar with Steam, it's a it's a game service, but it's most of your PC games are available to play on Steam. So all of the major PC gaming titles are on there. And, you know, that's where people, you know, launch them, buy them, load them up, and play them. So, you know, I guess it just doesn't, I guess I mean, you've got a mobile game on there. It's just not going to do as well. I don't know. Well, I think we've pretty much discussed everything with this. I mean, if viewers, if any of you have any last minute comments or questions or anything, throw them in there. But I think we're going to end up wrapping it up. Joel's asking, what time does the discount end tomorrow? I have no idea. I don't know what time zone you're in, so can't really answer that. But at least for me, I think it usually ends around like 8 a.m. So that's Eastern time.
So pretty much whatever you got to do, try to get it done by tonight. Because by the time you wake up in the morning, it may just be over.
Anthony said he got bored with the full title games and wanted something different. War Robots is the best mech game you've found on Steam. Guess so. Well, thanks for answering. But I think I would still rather play on a phone. I don't know. I've never actually played War Robots with a mouse and keyboard. I do have one sitting here. I can actually connect it to my iPad. Maybe I'll give that a try.
What do you think of the Fenrir with the Scourge Calamity? Fenrir is just too slow of a bot. All right, and he's very susceptible to outjunes. You got to decide what active mods you're going to put in there. I mean, if you're going to be able to fight in the air, you got to have your quantum radar. I mean, it's just really, it's a tough bot. When you add all of the skills to it and beef it up, yeah, it is a very, very tanky bot. It's good for the close-up encounters, but in this current meta, I'm just not a fan of the Fenrir. My 2 cents.
I love the Fenrir. I love playing the Fenrir. I think it's a great robot, but personally, my personal opinion only, I think you are a sinner if you put that build on a Fenrir. It is not a tanking build. It is not there. You cannot tank with a Calamity or with a lock-on weapon, period. Anything that needs a lock-on is single target, and you've got 2 to 3 seconds before you can hit them, which makes it really not be viable for any kind of face-to-face tanking. So anybody wanting to run a Scourge and Calamity build, put it on an Inquisitor. You'll get more mobility, be able to get into different locations. You'll be able to actually have better defense because you can get out of trouble and take advantage of that damaging type of weapon. If you want to tank, you need tanking friendly weapons, which means weapons that do well up close and hopefully have some kind of a splash or can hit multiple robots at once, like the shotguns. That's my opinion. Some people are not going to agree with it. But I really do think that robots should be used how they are designed. When is the next test server? Right now.
Right now, it's going on. And after that, you're probably looking for next Friday for the next download.
AD says there are no other choices. I'm assuming he's talking about the Fenrir. You know, I'm running a Glory on my Fenrir and 2 igniters, and it does really well. Even with the Nerf, the Glory still does good damage up close, and it didn't really get affected quite as badly as some of the other shotguns. So it's still very effective, and 2 igniters will light up most robots. Yeah, Eamon. There should be a test server right now.
Yes, it's still going on.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I guess we'll look at wrapping it up. Man, there was a lot to talk about, but we went through it pretty quick, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
But I'm sure we will have...
there was just a fewer questions this time.
Yeah, but we will have a little more to talk about again next week, assuming that we do, in fact, get the merge to go through Monday or Tuesday, which I'm assuming it will, just because, you know, Pixonic has actually been open and honest and upfront with the timing on things, and they've pretty much held up to it. So,
you got a donation from Ernie and a question. How has your gameplay changed? What was playing as a brawler, now as a support player? Credit Islander tactics for selecting, targeting. Thank you. Okay. I mean, the only thing that's really changed about my game, as far as anything, is with the shotguns. That's the only thing that's changed. My style of play with that particular bot is gone from, yeah, I'm not afraid to step out in front of you and trade punches, to a peekaboo style play.
Right. And thank you for that, Ernie. And my gameplay has not really changed much. I'm still brawling. I just adapted my weapons, pulled most of my shotguns out, with the exception of the ones on my my Phantom and my Glory on my Fenrir. I don't have any other shotguns in my hangar, but I can still effectively run my Phantom, and it's actually been a little more fun because I find myself not staying in there and just taking the punishment as much, and using my ability more often, and actually blinking away, which has overall increased my survivability on the Phantom. So it has worked out pretty well. But other than that, I mean, I'm still pretty much brawling a lot. Amen. Test server is off. Yeah, it goes up and down. It's not like open the whole weekend. It has some pretty strange hours, but there should be a countdown on it and tell you when it's actually going to open back up. So as long as you've downloaded the most recent link, next time it opens up, you should be able to get into it, which I don't know. I haven't actually tried opening mine, so I don't I don't know when it opens back up this weekend, but it should be going until sometime tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and if you are on Android, you use the same link to download every single time. So you don't have to constantly be going out and looking for the new download link. It's the same one over and over again. So just save that link, and you'll be good to go after that.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us on the podcast. Thank you all for participating, for your questions, your feedback. Much appreciated. Islander, as always, thank you very much for joining me on this one. It's always good to have you on and hear your opinion on things.
My pleasure, Chief. Appreciate it.
And if you guys are still here, don't forget, drop by Islander's channel if you are not a sub over there. Find the link in the video description and hit up his channel and make sure that you subscribe. But until the next stream, guys, stay safe. Chief out.
Take care, guys.